I did in my TV work long ago, we did a segment where I wore a Santa suit, stood on a corner, and had a sign and a donation bucket. And my sign said Homeless Families Fund. We just made that up. And one in every 7 cars donated money. I was getting 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s. I was amazed how many 20s I got. That when we get into the holiday season, people are in a really giving spirit. And so I was forever affected by the fact that there I was just wearing this Santa suit, standing in a probably not the safest intersection I could be with how many cars there were and how fast they were going. But over and over again, people, without me saying a word, would roll down the window and give me money. And I was thinking about what that says wonderful about us as human beings, that we are so generous. And we in the United States have this culture of volunteerism and charitable giving that is pretty unique in the world. It's something we should be really proud of. But we also have a lot of dishonest people as well as a share of our population. Not a lot, but enough that this is a very fertile territory for them. So the money that I got, I went out and bought a new convertible. No, took the money and donated it to Habitat for Humanity. So it really did go to a housing fund that's legit. But the point was made for my TV viewers around the country that this is something that you've got to be aware of, is that you just can't give money to someone who calls you on the phone, stands at a corner, wherever, where they're asking for money, if you don't know if it's on the up and up. And this time of year, you'll get a lot of solicitations in this thing called the mail. It's something that, rain, sleet, snow, or dead of night, whatever, that the postal service worker comes and delivers. We don't get a lot of mail anymore. I get the informed delivery from the postal service, and I've noticed how the amount of mail I get keeps dwindling year by year as more and more communications is electronic. But in November and December, you'll get a lot of traditional mail from supposed charities and legitimate charities asking you for money. And know that you work hard for your money, and I want to make sure that 2 things happen. 1, that an organization you give to is legit, and 2, that that organization that's legit is efficient with the money you give. So to me, that's a double process, because you don't want to give it to crooks. And then if you give it to people who have a good heart, but maybe aren't really that great at running a charity, that your money is not being efficiently spent that you've worked hard for, maybe that money goes to someone else. So I don't want you to give money on impulse. And if you see Santa standing out a corner, we should do that segment again. See if it's still 1 in 7, or if the number of people that donate is higher than it used to be, lower than it used to be. But I'm not sure I really want to be out there doing that. But anyway, the point is, giving to someone who says they're with this, that, or the other that you see out and about, I don't recommend. I want you to take your time, and also with a phone call or an email or a text. I want you instead to do your homework and proactively give to charity, not reactively give. When we have a natural disaster, hurricane, storm, whatever, Americans are so generous in trying to extend help. But so often, you have all these scamsters that come out like locusts following a storm. And so that's why your charitable giving should be done in a methodical way. You only have so much money you can devote, and make sure you give it efficiently. This is important to me. And so I have a guide at Clark.com for the holidays, but it can be used all year long, how to figure out whether a charity is, first, what they say they are, and two, that they do an efficient job with the money you give. So be careful with your generosity, and that money will have more impact when you do. Krista?
Watch out for your parents and elderly friends and family this holiday season.
So that was my late mom, who ended up in the clutches of all these scamsters stealing her money for fake charities. And I remember her answer when I went through her. She used to write checks. And I went through her checks, and there were all these phonies she'd written one check to after another. And once they know you're, they call them sucker lists. Once they know they got you, then all these other phonies are going to take advantage. And I asked Mom, so why did you give to these people? And my mom had the thickest Southern accent, and she said, 'cause they asked, darling. Mm-hmm. You can hear her saying that.
Oh, Joy,
now.
she was so sweet.
You could just hear her saying that.
Oh.
And so ultimately we had to divert her mail and then deal with the phone and all that. But we were able to shut down all the crooks running off with their money.